We are back on air with breaking news as the investigation continues after 12 people are injured in a shooting at Columbia Mall. We know 10 people were shot. Of the 11 patients that were taken to Palmetto Richland Hospital at this hour, the hospital is now reporting that 9 of the 11 patients have been released. But the investigation is still very early. Columbia Police Chief Skip Holbrook saying 3 people have been detained for questioning. We're going to begin our team coverage now with News 19's Kaylin Hagwood. She has been outside of Columbiana Centre for several hours now. Kaylin, what have you learned from law enforcement?
Well, yeah, let me take you through the investigation, Darcy. This all started around 2 o'clock. That's when law enforcement say they received a call about shots fired in the Columbiana Mall. And from there, people inside the mall described what was just utter chaos and what would have been a very calm Easter weekend shopping with family and friends. Law enforcement say that 12 people were injured, 10 of them were shot, and 2 people were in critical condition a little bit earlier today. Now, they had been working to clear the mall. They asked employees to seek shelter within their actual store so that way they could make sure everything was safe. And they have detained 3 people for questioning. Now, they had not called those folks suspects, but rather people of interest as they work to investigate this case. Now, they say that they don't believe it was a random shooting. They believe that the people involved knew each other and that some kind of conflict escalated to what we saw today. But I want you guys to hear from a mom who says she was there with her 3-year-old about what this experience was like for the both of them.
How is your son doing?
Oh my gosh, he's 3, so he has this obsession with like fire trucks and ambulance, and he just cannot understand why everything was going on. And then he gets in the car and he goes, "Was somebody shooting a gun?" And he's like so nervous and he's scared and he doesn't understand, but that's all he's been hearing because people are just yelling that as we're running. So he was just very shaken up by the whole thing, and just really, really confused because, I mean, we didn't expect to go into the mall and then have to literally run for our lives to leave out of there. It was just not what we were expecting on a typical Saturday.
Well, the youngest person who was injured was 15 years old, according to police, who say that they had set up a reunification area at the Fairfield Inn near the mall to help people come together who may still be separated from this incident. Now, if you were here at the mall today and you have any information that might be helpful, any videos, anything that can help in this investigation, you're asked to call the police, reach out to Crime Stoppers in order to help aid in this case. Darcy?
Kaylin, thank you so much. As Kaylin just mentioned, the youngest victim in this shooting, 15 years old. The oldest person, according to Columbia Police, 73 years old. And Prisma Health Hospital is now issuing a statement saying in the Midlands, they received 11 patients with various injuries, including gunshot wounds. 9 patients have been treated and released. These emergency departments are on lockdown, which is a normal part of the emergency procedure in situations like this. Now, the last time a shooting happened at Columbiana Mall was back in January when a woman accidentally shot herself while trying to handle a gun that was in her purse. Police ended up taking the gun and the woman was taken to the hospital. Her injuries were not thought to be life-threatening. Before that, 2 shootings happened in the mall back in 2016. Nobody was injured in either of those shootings. So some history about Columbiana Mall. It was built back in 1990 as one of the oldest and largest malls in the state, spanning 817,000 square feet. The mall first opened its doors with Belk's and Sears, and since then it has expanded to having 112 businesses. The mall also sitting on 2 county lines in Richland County and Lexington County. We're going to continue our team coverage now with News 19's Walker Lawson. Walker, thousands of people in the area at that time. You've also had an opportunity to speak with eyewitnesses.
That's right, Darcy. I got here around 2:30 this afternoon and people were running out of the mall. There was a lot of panic going on and a lot of families seemed very upset and a lot of workers were coming out together. Now, when I got here, some families I spoke to said they immediately grabbed their children and ran out of the door, obviously not grabbing their phones, just getting out as fast as they could, especially when they said they heard feet. They heard a group of people running towards them in Belk, specifically is what one mother told me, and they ran as as fast as they could out of the building. Now, there was a quick response, as when I got here, there was a law enforcement presence that was very strong, and there was a lot of traffic going on. So now if you take a look behind me at the roads, this is Columbiana Road. There's not many people out. The roads are open on this side of the mall now, so it seems like few people are out and about in this area over here, and there's no more traffic at this particular spot. But that is kind of an update from what I've seen from when I got here till now. I'm going to send things back to you guys in studio.
All right, Walker Lawson reporting for us live out in the field. Walker, thank you so much. As he mentioned, multiple law enforcement agencies reported there, and we are now learning from management and owners at Columbia Mall that the mall is closed until further notice, as that is still a very active crime scene. Now, one shopper shared her experience being in the mall when the shooting happened. Jennifer Malden explains why she and her husband and friends were in the mall. She talks about them being at Bath and Body Works.
It was calm. Everybody was just shopping. It was like a normal day on Saturday in Columbia. And then once we started hearing the popping sound, at first we weren't sure if it was a balloon. But then once we realized it sounded like a semi-automatic, and that split second, people realized people were screaming, running. I mean, just all you could just hear was people screaming and running. And luckily, everybody that was in Bath and Body with us, we all ran the same way, so nobody got trampled, got hurt or anything. But we, everybody got together and, just kind of huddled together for that 2 minutes, which felt like 10, if you want to know the truth. And, we didn't know that whether the shooter was active and was he going to come in there and start shooting us. Some of the other people we were talking to, the employees in the mall, and I can only test for Bath and Body because we were in there. In a split second, they had that door open. We ran, they had the door open, and they got us out, and they were the last ones to come out. So, kudos to them for keeping their customers and doing the right thing and keeping us safe.
Malden says customers were taken through a hallway, which led to an emergency exit next to the JCPenney. She says it took them an hour to leave the parking lot. Columbia Mayor Daniel Rickman has issued a statement responding to the shooting at Columbiana Centre Mall, saying, quote, "Our community is saddened by this senseless shooting and the pain it caused to innocent bystanders." He says the focus is on getting them treatment right now and on being supportive of the multiple law enforcement agencies working together to bring these criminals to justice. Now on your screen, Snapchat video uploaded by users who were at the mall. As you can see, store windows are broken with shattered glass on the floor. There are police escorting people around the mall. As you can imagine, with thousands of people in that area, it was definitely a chaotic scene. And as I mentioned just a moment ago, according to the mall's website, they are closed until further notice. Right. At one point, traffic was at a complete standstill as people tried to be reunified with their friends and family who were shopping. News 19's Payton Lewis continues our team coverage now. She is at that reunification site. And Payton, what have you seen over the last several hours?
Well, right now there's not a lot of activity in this parking lot. We're here at McAllister's right around the corner from the Columbiana Centre, and it's been empty since we've been here about 4 o'clock. But right now, it's empty, like I mentioned. But before, there were lots of people here, and even some people who were just kind of confused as what had happened earlier today. We did meet with one family that said they had experienced a little bit of the traffic and chaos and everything today, but they still weren't sure what was going on. And after they talked to law enforcement, they learned that if they had come just an hour earlier for an appointment that they had in the mall, that would have been a scary situation for their family.
When I come here, the entire road was blocked. I tried entering that, but the cops sent us around. So I heard about this incident just now. So we were like an hour late from our schedule. So yeah, we think fortunate being late here.
Absolutely. and this is the Fairfield Inn parking lot where families were coming to reunite with people that were in the mall that might have gotten disconnected from one another. And when we got here, after the roads were cleared a little bit more, law enforcement told us that everyone has now been accounted for after the mall shooting today, and that they're no longer at this scene. But this is a meeting ground for people still. The conference room, inside of the Fairfield Inn is no longer open, but they did say that people are welcome to come in their parking lot if they still need to reconnect after today's events. Reporting live in Columbia, Payton Lewis, News 19 WLTX.
Payton, thank you so much. We are going to wrap up our live coverage now, but we encourage you to continue to follow this breaking news story, not only on air, but also online at WLTX.com. This is also a great time to remind you to make sure that you downloaded our free News 19 mobile app.